Officer James Rodriguez slapped Laura Wheeler across the face. What she did next, in front of 100 witnesses in an overturned car, left everyone speechless and brought the entire crowd to their feet in thunderous applause. But before we dive into this incredible story, if you love real-life stories that restore your faith in humanity, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment like this one. The Arizona sun beat down mercilessly on Highway 89, turning the asphalt into a shimmering river of heat. An overturned silver sedan lay on its roof 30 feet away, smoke still rising from its crumpled hood. Glass scattered across the highway like deadly diamonds. A crowd of over 100 people lined both sides of the road, their phones raised, capturing every moment of what was about to become the most viral video of the year. Laura Wheeler stood in the middle of it all, her green dress whipping in the hot desert wind, one high heel planted firmly on the yellow, dividing line. Her blonde ponytail had come loose during the chaos, strands of hair sticking to her tear-streaked face. But her eyes burned with fury that could melt steel. Officer James Rodriguez stood 10 feet away, his hand still raised from the slap that had just echoed across the highway. His uniform was dusty, his badge catching the brutal sunlight, and his face had gone pale beneath his tan. For 3 heartbeats, nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then Laura stepped forward in her heels, drew back her arm, and slapped Officer Rodriguez across the face with every ounce of strength in her body. The crack of impact was like a whip. James's head snapped to the side, his police cap flying off and tumbling across the asphalt. The crowd gasped collectively, and then, impossibly, someone started clapping. Then another person. Then another. Within seconds, the entire crowd erupted in applause and cheers that rolled across the desert like thunder. James stood frozen, his cheek burning red, staring at Laura in complete shock. "You want to hit me again?" Laura's voice cut to the applause, raw and trembling but defiant. "Go ahead, Officer Rodriguez. Do it in front of all these people, in front of all these cameras. Show them what kind of cop you really are." "Laura, James started, but she wasn't finished. "You slapped me because I went out of the road." Her voice broke, but she pushed through. "That car back there? The upside-down one everyone's filming? My little sister is trapped inside." The crowd's applause died instantly. A horrified silence fell over the highway. Laura pointed a shaking finger at the wreckage. "Sarah is 8 years old, and she's pinned under the dashboard, and I've been screaming for help for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. But nobody would listen. Nobody would help. They just want to take pictures for social media." Her voice rose to a scream. "And when you showed up, when you finally arrived, you didn't ask what happened. You didn't check the car. You just ordered me to clear the road for traffic. And when I wouldn't leave my sister, when I begged you to help her first, you slapped me to bring me under control." James felt the blood drain from his face. His eyes shot to the overturned sedan, and for the first time he heard it, a child's weak crying coming from inside the wreckage. "Oh my God," he whispered. The crowd's phones were still recording, but now the videos captured something different. They captured Officer James Rodriguez sprinting toward the crash car, ripping off his utility belt as he ran. They captured him dropping to his knees and crawling halfway inside the smoking vehicle, his voice urgent but gentle as he spoke to the trapped child inside. Laura ran after him, her heels clicking on the asphalt before she kicked them off and ran barefoot. She dropped beside the car, her hands pressed against the hot metal. Sarah, baby, the policeman is here. He's going to help you." Inside the wreckage, James could see her, a little girl with the same blonde hair as Laura, her leg trapped beneath the collapsed dashboard, her face pale and frightened. Blood trickled from a cut on her forehead. "Hey there, sweetheart," James said softly, forcing his voice to stay calm despite the panic surging through him. "My name's James. I'm going to get you out of here, okay? But I need you to be really brave for me. It hurts, Sarah whimpered. I know, honey. I know. James quickly assessed the situation. The dashboard had collapsed onto her leg, but the real danger was the fuel smell. The tank was leaking and the engine was still hot. They had minutes, maybe less. He backed out and grabbed his radio. This is Unit 47. I need fire and rescue at mile marker 23 on Highway 89 now. Child trapped in vehicle, possible fuel leak. This is code red. Laura grabbed his arm, her earlier defiance replaced by desperate fear. Please, please save her. She's all I have left. Our parents died last year, and I've been raising her alone, and I can't. I can't lose her too. James looked into Laura's eyes and saw his own sister's face from 15 years ago. Emily had been 9 when she died in a car accident. He hadn't been there to save her, but he was here now. I'm not going to let that happen, he promised. For the next 7 minutes, Officer James Rodriguez worked with a precision born of desperation. He used a crowbar from his trunk to lever the dashboard. He had Laura crawl in from the other side to hold Sarah's hand and keep her calm. He organized a crowd, no longer just spectators but helpers, into a human chain passing water bottles and first aid supplies. When the dashboard finally lifted enough, James pulled Sarah free with seconds to spare. As he carried her away from the wreckage, the fuel tank ignited, sending a fireball into the sky. The crowd scattered, but James and Laura shielded Sarah with their bodies until the danger passed. The ambulance arrived minutes later. As paramedics loaded Sarah onto a stretcher, conscious, stable, going to be okay, James and Laura stood together on the shoulder of the highway, both of them shaking from adrenaline and emotion. I'm sorry, James said quietly. I'm so sorry. I should have listened. I should have seen what was happening. Instead, I made assumptions, and He touched his still-burning cheek. I deserved that slap, and a hell of a lot worse. Laura's anger had burned out, leaving only exhaustion. I'm sorry, too, for hitting you, but I was so scared and nobody would help, and... Don't apologize. James cut her off firmly. You were protecting your sister. You did what you had to do. And you were right. I wasn't listening. I saw a hysterical woman in a green dress blocking traffic, and I didn't look deeper. I didn't see a sister fighting to save the only family she has left. He pulled out his phone and opened the camera. I want you to record me, he said, handing it to Laura. What? Why? Because I need to say this, and I need it documented. James faced the camera, his expression serious. My name is Officer James Rodriguez, badge number 2847. Today I struck a civilian, Laura Wheeler, while responding to an emergency. I acted without assessing the full situation, and I used excessive force against someone who was trying to save her sister's life. I will be submitting my full report and recommending disciplinary action against myself. But more importantly, his voice cracked slightly. I want to say thank you to Laura Wheeler for being brave enough to stand up to me, for slapping me back, and for reminding me why I became a police officer in the first place. To protect and serve, not to control and dismiss. Laura stopped recording, tears streaming down her face again. 3 months later, the video of Laura slapping Officer Rodriguez back, and everything that followed, had been viewed over 50 million times. But the real story wasn't the viral moment. It was what came after. James had been suspended for 2 weeks and completed extensive retraining. He'd also started a program called Listen First for police officers, teaching de-escalation and active listening skills. Laura and Sarah had moved into a better apartment, funded partly by a community fundraiser that James had helped organize. Sarah's leg had healed completely, though she walked with a slight limp that doctors said would fade with time. And every Saturday, Officer James Rodriguez visited the Wheeler sisters. Sometimes he brought groceries. Sometimes he helped Sarah with homework. Sometimes he just sat on her couch drinking coffee while Sarah showed her drawings and Laura told him about her week. You know, Laura said one afternoon, watching Sarah play in the courtyard below, that slap changed everything. James touched his cheek reflexively, though the red mark had faded months ago. Which one? Laura smiled, a real smile, warm and genuine. Both of them. Mine woke you up. Yours. She paused, searching for words. Yours showed me that even good people make terrible mistakes, and that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit them and work to be better. Through the window, they could hear Sarah laughing as she played, alive and healing and full of hope. In the dusty, dangerous, beautiful desert of Arizona, two lives had changed forever because someone chose to fight back, and someone else chose to listen. And in the end, that made all the difference.